This CoinDesk conversation is all about Consensus Toronto. EasyA co-founders Phil and Dom Kwok join us to give us all the alpha on the EasyA Consensus Hackathon, which is gearing up to be North America's biggest blockchain hackathon. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much for having us on, Jen.
We're
Thanks, Jen,
getting
for having us.
Of course, we're getting really excited over here about Consensus Toronto. It's happening May 14th to 16th. This is not the first time that I've talked with the both of you about the hackathons that happen at the Consensus Conference in collaboration with EasyA, but this is the biggest blockchain hackathon in North America. So, Dom, I'm going to kick it off to you first. Practically, what does that mean? What kind of numbers are we talking about here, and how do we know it's the biggest?
Yeah, so we've already seen in the last couple of weeks since we first announced the hackathon, tons and tons of excitement from developers, sponsors, partners, you name it, coming to the hackathon. So we are expecting to see over 1,000 developers actually come in person to the EasyA Consensus Hackathon in Toronto, which will make it the biggest North American blockchain hackathon in history. And we are going to see hundreds of projects launch on different chains who are participating. Some of the chains we've already announced. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all of those projects come to life. Our past Hong Kong and Austin EasyA Consensus Hackathons have already produced projects that have been backed by some of the world's best VCs and accelerators like A16Z, Y Combinator, Draper University, etc. So yeah, we're really excited to see everyone come in person and launch their startups on the world stage.
Phil, if you had to think about the EasyA Consensus hackathons, all of the ones we've done so far, what project stands out to you? And that can be stands out in any way. It could be in funding, it could be in partnerships, like Dom just mentioned. It could be innovating in a certain ecosystem in a way that hasn't been done before. But what's kind of like that standout project that you think about?
That's a great question. Putting me on a spot, having to choose one. There've been so many cool. Can I go for a couple? Maybe give a
Sure.
couple of different ones. One Dom alluded to just now. They just got into YC Blind Pay. Absolutely amazing team. They went to the EasyA Consensus Hackathon in Austin last year. Absolutely been crushing it. They've been doing. I think they hit about $1 million in transaction volume recently, and they've just been absolutely crushing it. So playing in the stablecoin space, we have also people who are going more on the retail and like user-oriented side. So Ramp Me Daddy, gonna shout them out. I remember the first time I was reading out that name actually going up on stage, I was like, is this like some sort of prank? It's like, I think the name is now like more like RMD, but it's absolutely, amazing team, super fun loving, very much like in conjunction with that degen spirit. And last but not least, actually, the EasyA Hong Kong Consensus Hackathon, we had some incredible teams who were building modern portfolio management on the blockchain. And so I'll shout out Antonio and his team. Antonio actually used to work in TradFi, and now he's bringing all of that experience into what he's building here in Web3. So I think across the board, we've just seen absolutely amazing projects, and they've gone on to achieve success faster than I could ever have imagined.
Phil, in this space, I often wonder if I'm being pranked. So you are not alone there. There's a lot of things that happen that you just sit back and think like, wow, did that just happen? Or is this happening?
Yeah, it turned out to be the real project name.
You mentioned stable coins there, and stable coins are really ramping up to be one of the driving narratives for 2025. Phil, I want to just get your perspective here. Are we expecting to see a lot of projects innovating in the stablecoin space, or what are kind of the main areas that developers are looking to innovate in right now? And if you were to give advice, like what are the areas that developers should be looking at if they want to win something like this?
That's a great question. When I first got into the space in 2013 through Bitcoin mining, it was a very different world. And I've seen so many different cycles, seen so many different bulls and bears. I think we've seen a lot of froth in the most recent bull market. A lot of people building some, quite frankly, some very, very whack ideas that don't necessarily need to be on the blockchain. So you bring up stablecoins. Stablecoins are one of the areas in blockchain that truly have product market fit. So people who are building stablecoin based payment systems or even building their own stablecoins, that's going to do well. It is growing absolutely massively and growing at such a fast rate. And the second thing as well is things that are just have to do with finance. So I was talking with a couple of other founders recently about how we want to see more on the tokenization side, tokenization just across the board, real world assets, securities, those sorts of things, and also trading. And I think that across stable coins, so payments, and then also trading and DeFi, decentralized finance, that will be some of the biggest projects or biggest set of projects that will be coming out of the hackathons and that we want to see. This is just the easiest way for developers to get success as quickly as possible after the hackathon.
Dom, you mentioned that more than 1,000 builders are going to be dawning on Consensus Toronto with their ideas and their innovation. I was just having a conversation with Consensus's chairman, Michael Lau, and we were talking about all of the Canadians that work in this space, all of the people who have innovated in this space that are from Canada. You have, CZ, Vitalik. There are so many people in the space who people don't even realize they're Canadian or that development originated in Toronto, like Ethereum. So talk to me about the significance of having this in a place like Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, so just like you said, there are so many incredible blockchain and Web3 entrepreneurs who have come out of Canada that we, don't realize are from Canada. I think even in the last couple of years, our hackathons have attracted a lot of cool talent from Canada. So the University of Waterloo, obviously, that's where Vitalik went himself, and other amazing Web3 founders have gone. The blockchain clubs there and other similar universities have really sort of been inspired by those entrepreneurs. And now they're building some amazing startups themselves. There are also a ton of cool Web3 companies in Vancouver. Some of the great ones, really hot ones right now, all headquartered there. We're expecting a ton of good talent from Canada, from the East Coast and the West Coast, and then, of course, the rest of North America as well. But obviously, the 1,000+ developers are going to come from all over the world. And we're really going to be accepting the best of the best developers from Canada, the rest of the US, Europe as well, and Asia. We've seen a lot of people applying from all over the world. They're going to be flying in, ready to hack, and it's going to be a really, really exciting competition.
Now, Dom, are applications still open?
Applications are still open. We are closing applications on the 4th of April. That's the first early bird deadline. We will have a separate round of admissions as well for the next wave of applicants. Normally, we see a lot of people apply towards the end. But if you are thinking of coming, definitely apply sooner than later. That'll increase your chances of getting accepted. And we will be looking at everyone's GitHub and LinkedIn to make sure that they're a good fit so that they can have a great time at the hackathon as well.
Okay, besides having a GitHub and a LinkedIn, Dom, what is a winning criteria? If someone's watching this video and they want to get into the hackathon, they're making that application, the deadline is coming soon. What do they got to have to make sure they have the chance?
Yeah, so we obviously look at those, couple of links, but the most important thing as well is that you have a demonstrated interest in Web3 and blockchain. We're looking to accept people who have an experience as well, who have founded startups in the past, because, we're looking for founders who are going to launch their projects and then obviously continue to take their projects to the next level. So it's not a sort of, 3-day competition, you win and then you're, back to doing whatever you were doing. It's 3 days, you launch your projects, you get that initial funding, and then you actually continue and, go on to get grants and raise and build your idea and really change the world. So that's what we're really looking for.
And Phil, from a technical perspective, what do builders got to have to make the cut?
That's a great question. So you don't necessarily need to already have all the knowledge that a Vitalik or a CZ might have. If we're talking about people from Canada, really we are opening this across the board to developers, to people who have a cool business idea. We just want to see people build cool stuff. And at the end of the day, this is an opportunity for people to come and experiment with new ideas. So whether you already know what you want to build and have been in Web3, you're a veteran, or you're just starting out for the first time, we want to see you there. So really, in terms of technical expertise, you could be a top developer, you could be a developer who's just starting off, or you could have no technical expertise whatsoever, and you'll be able to meet amazing people at the team building that we'll do on day one. So really everybody's welcome.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing you both in Toronto from May 14th to 16th. Dom, I'm going to let you end us off here. How can people apply to be a part of the EasyA Consensus Hackathon this year?
Yeah, so there are two ways. One, you can head over to the Consensus website, coindesk.com, go to Consensus and click Hackathon. There you can sign up, fill out the form and apply. And we've also got it inside the EasyA app. So you can head over in there, click on register and sign up right through your EasyA app. So two really simple ways to sign up, and we'll be admitting people on a rolling basis. So make sure you sign up ASAP while spots last.